Hello, everybody. This is Coach Halley from the Coach's Box. Call it like we see it podcast. And this is another edition of This Week in the SEC. We were going to talk a little bit of football. There's 6 great games this week, as there always are in the SEC, and I can't wait to get into it. We've got, of the 6 games, we've got 5 of them involve a ranked team, and the other one involves a team that should be ranked. And they're ranked in some polls, but not in all polls, but they should be higher than what they are. So let's get right into it. First game we're going to talk about is going to be the Tennessee and Mississippi State game. The Bulldogs go to Tennessee, to Knoxville, to play a 6 p.m. game. So you're at night in Neyland Stadium with it packed, the orange is rocking. And let's face it, Mississippi State is just not very good. They have the 14th worst defense in the country at about 35 points a game given up. And they're going against the 12th best offense in the country, and Tennessee at 38 points a game. The line has this at Tennessee, a 24-point favorite. I expect Tennessee to win it by more than 24. This is a 4-touchdown game, and it will just stay that way moving forward. So good luck to the Bulldogs, but they're going to drop to 2-8 on the year. Number 7 Tennessee picks up their 8th win of the season, and they're sitting pretty in the SEC rankings moving forward. So, like I said, Tennessee big in that one. The next game we're going to talk about Florida and Texas. Florida at 4-4, who's looked a little bit better the last couple of weeks, going to Texas, number 5 Longhorns, who are 7-1 on the season. This is going to come down to quarterback play, because right now Florida I don't believe will have their quarterback available to them. DJ Lagaway, I believe, is injured. He was injured. They don't think he's going to play this weekend. And Texas has 2 of the best quarterbacks in the country. But with Quinn Ewers playing the way he is, it's Texas in their top 15 ranked offense and their number 2 ranked defense completely overwhelming Florida, who is 57th in offense and 72nd in defense. That's where it's going to come in, that top 15 offense versus that number 72 defense. I just don't think, especially without their quarterback at Texas or in Austin, I don't think that I don't believe, and I don't think anybody in the world believes, that Florida has enough weapons to go to Texas and beat them. Texas, as a 21.5-point favorite, completely blows that one out of the water. Take the over on that one. I look for a 4-touchdown victory for Texas at Texas. You can probably, that one's as close to it as a lock in that one is what it's going to be. So moving on to the next game we're going to talk about is going to be South Carolina at Vanderbilt. Now, this is a very intriguing game. This is probably the closest matchup. Vanderbilt in some polls are ranked in the low to the 23, 24, 25. Some they're in the also receiving votes, but they've been very good this year, I think, for them. And South Carolina has a couple of really good wins to their resume, and I like what they're doing. South Carolina is sitting at 5-3, 1 game away from bowl eligibility. Vanderbilt is bowl eligible at 6-3, and this is a tough one because it's a mid-afternoon game at First Bank Stadium in Nashville, where Vanderbilt's been pretty good this year. So what I like to see about this one is the quarterback play. This is going to be quarterback versus quarterback. This is going to be Sellers for South Carolina, who has been very good the last couple of weeks, just managing the game and doing the things that he needs to do, versus Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt, who has been as Vanderbilt goes. So if Pavia has a good game, which he has had all year, I expect him to continue to have another good game. I think Vanderbilt wins this game and moves to 7 wins on the season. Who'd have thought you'd be able to say that about Vanderbilt this year? Nobody kind of saw them. They saw them being better, but I don't think they saw them being this much better. So I like Vanderbilt on this one. I don't know that they'll cover that. I think they'll end up they'll cover the spread because South Carolina is the favorite, a 3.5-point favorite. I don't like that line very much. I think it's tough to beat Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt this year, especially. I like Vanderbilt to win this game, probably by a field goal or a touchdown. It's going to be a close one, but I like Vanderbilt to win this game. Whichever offense has it last will win the game, and it'll be Vanderbilt. Our next game we're going to go to is we're going to talk a little. Sorry, mix my notes up there for a minute. We're going to talk a little MU Oklahoma. I'm a Mizzou fan, and I think that's been wildly apparent on our show. I probably am going to pick Mizzou in this game, but it is a tough pick. My heart picks Mizzou. My head is kind of tied up in this one. It's going to come down to, does Brady Cook play? Because if Brady Cook does not play, Drew Pine is not able to get this done. Mizzou has weapons. Their offense hasn't been very good in getting them to them. And it's just going to come down to whether Mizzou's offense can play the way they're capable of playing. I feel like a broken record. We say that each week. But if Brady Cook doesn't play, I don't think Mizzou really has a good chance at winning. Unless, and then here's the key, neither run defense has been very good, Mizzou's or Oklahoma's. They kind of get shredded in the two games that Missouri's lost. They've been absolutely shredded by the run. Now Mizzou has a really good pass defense. They're according to the stats, they're number 2 in the country in pass defense, only giving up 165 yards a game. But the run defense has not been very good, and neither has Oklahoma's. So this is going to come down to the run game. Whichever team rushes for more yards will get this win. So does Nate Noel play? Because he's been on the injured list. They have him listed as doubtful, I believe, or probable. So he may play. Brady Cook is also listed as probable, so he may play. And then Oklahoma doesn't have very many injuries. They only had, I think, 2 names on the injury list. So, and I don't think they were either one of their very important players or 2 very important players. So Oklahoma will be healthy. They're 5-4. They're looking to get to bowl eligibility, but they're coming into Mizzou, who's still kind of hanging on to their ranking at 24 in the ESPN polls. They're out of it after that. I think they're 24 in the college football playoff polls. So they're holding on to that ranking. This game will come down to the rush game. Whichever team rushes for more yards will win. The favorite has OU at 3 points, and it's a close one. My heart's going with Mizzou. My head is whoever has I can't say that Mizzou's not going to win because that's not what fans do. But whichever team rushes for more yards will win this game, and that I'm almost sure of. So. And we have 2 more games we're going to cover. The next game we're going to cover is going to be Bama at LSU. Alabama, 6:30 primetime game in Death Valley under the lights. And this is going to come down to quarterback play. Milroe versus Nussmeier. I've been fairly vocal about I'm not a big fan of Garrett Nussmeier, but he's played pretty well this year. The stats show that he's pretty well this year. And this will be the game that will change my mind on him if he plays well and he's able to beat Alabama. Last week, 2 weeks ago, Alabama looked pretty good against Mizzou. But if they run the ball well against LSU and control the clock, and Milroe can use his legs to kind of extend plays and extend out that defense, I think Alabama is able to win this game. I just don't think they have enough weapons in that environment to be able to stop LSU, because that's a tough place to play is in Death Valley under the lights. So I'm going to go with number 15 LSU getting their 7th win of the year, and Alabama dropping to 6-3. So that's my pick for that one. And I think the prime game of the week is in the mid-afternoon slot is going to be Georgia at Ole Miss. So they're going to Oxford, and Georgia's looking to try to beat the number 16 Ole Miss team. This game is about Georgia's defense and Ole Miss's offense, because Ole Miss's offense is really, really good, and Georgia's defense is really, really good. So the key player of this game, and I'm going to call it now, is going to be Jackson Dart. It's an easy call to make as the quarterback for Ole Miss. He's averaging over 350 yards a game. He's thrown 21 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions on the year. He's been really good. He's spread the ball around to a lot of different weapons. And because it's at Ole Miss, I am looking for Ole Miss to pull the upset on number 2 Georgia and kind of keep throwing this whole SEC into a topsy-turvy mix here as we get towards the end of the year and figuring out who's going to be playing in the SEC championship game. There's still a lot of schools still in the hunt, but a lot of them have got to play better over these last 3 weeks in order to get to that the top of that list. But Texas, Ole Miss, Georgia, Bama, LSU, those are the front runners, and then there's several other that still have a chance to get into that game. They just have to play better moving forward. But I like Ole Miss in this one. Georgia's a 2.5-point favorite, but Ole Miss is here. I've picked several underdogs this week in the SEC, but we'll see how this goes. There've been a lot of close ones moving forward, and we'll see how the week goes. I'm excited for the week of football. It's supposed to be rainy here in Missouri, which means I'm going to be able to kind of have some football on and just enjoy the TV that day and see all kinds of good football. So again, thanks for tuning in. We at the Coach's Box. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like our videos. You can go to all of the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok. I believe we're also on Twitch. So like, subscribe, and get on the Coach's Box bandwagon. So again, Kevin Halley, thank you very much. We'll see you next.